Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Balls Out Sports Podcast. I'm Remy. This is my co host, Jerry, and we are here to talk sports. So let's get right into it. Um, Both in the NBA and the NFL has been a crazy week, I gotta say. Starting off with the first ever in season NBA tournament quarterfinals.
Yes, sir.
Uh, One of the most boring games I have seen up to date in the NFL. I thought I've been served last week with the Bears and Vikings game, but this week we saw the Chargers and Patriots 6-0. So
what was that? They said it was some record that the Patriots is holding for one score games, I think it was. Or losing by one square games or something like that. But yeah, that game was very, very boring. What was it like? It was 6-0?
it was 6-0. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Two field goals too, so it wasn't a touchdown or anything.
They should have played that game on Tubi.
For free?
For free. Yes.
Was I yeah, so me and my friend were talking about the Chargers as this game was going on Sunday, and he brought something up that I think I had just completely forgotten it, or maybe I didn't even know it because I don't think I was following the NFL back then. But there was a year, I think it's 2010 or something like that, where the Chargers were they had the number one ranked offense in the NFL.
Did they have Rivers?
The number one ranked defense in the NFL, and didn't make the playoffs. They had I believe it was like the 27th ranked special teams. And so that's what ended up costing it for them. They started off the season, I think, 0-5 or 0-7, something like that, like something that just made it impossible for them to make the playoffs, even though by the end of the season they had the number one ranked offense and defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like what this reminded me of is like, you know, that sounds like something the Chargers would do.
People
Six nothing against the Patriots, this year's Patriots.
People been saying Herbert need a scenery change. That's what I've been hearing.
Already, like not re-sign with the Chargers and find himself another squad. You think?
I think they could do that, but that's just what I be hearing.
I mean, if you have seen that, then let's go ahead and build off that and speculate. Where do you think Justin Herbert would be liked? Where do you think he'd be appreciated? Where do you think he'd be needed? All that kind of stuff. Where do you think he could land?
In my opinion, I'm against what they say. I think he should just stay where he at and build around him. If he goes somewhere else, I think it's a good possibility that he could become a backup.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, apart from the obvious ones, in the NFL where he would be their backup, I don't think there's too many guys in the NFL better than Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of teams are locked in on their QB right now. Besides,
but I think Arizona would take Justin Herbert over Kyler Murray.
You think so? I know for a fact my team would take him. The Jets will take him.
Well, I don't think y'all would though, because you guys have Aaron. I mean,
he's hurt.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Took him.
I don't know. Justin Herbert as Aaron Rodgers' backup. That would be probably one of the best quarterback rooms you could find in the NFL.
The Patriots need a quarterback, right? Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, they just played the Patriots. The Patriots couldn't get 6 points on them. I mean, they don't have a disgusting defense by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But 6-0 to the Pats shouldn't be happening from the Chargers, especially what we saw them do, getting to the playoffs last year. You have playoff aspirations. You want to keep going to the playoffs once you made it, especially as a young quarterback. And yeah, it's not looking good for them. So that's just my probably the least favorite game that I had to watch this week in football. Is there any other NFL game that you want to talk about real quick before we get to the big ones? Because I have a couple right here.
Nothing like the other games was like blowouts, but we might as well just get straight to the big ones.
Yeah, so Seattle and Dallas, 35-41. That that's one of the big games that happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more entertaining ones. Dak and Geno had Dak Prescott and Geno Smith had an amazing battle at the quarterback
Yes,
position.
they did.
They Dak Prescott obviously by winning that one, that puts him in the front runner for MVP in my eyes. I don't know what you think MVP wise this season, this week, but
Prescott.
yeah.
Yeah, I said. I think I said that a couple weeks ago.
Oh well, there
But
you go.
it was like, but it was more. It was more of before. It was more of, like maybe, maybe not. But now it's like, yeah, he's up there.
Right, I think he is the front runner. Other people in the conversation, obviously, but I definitely put Dak Prescott as the front runner for this season's MVP. One thing I wanted to say as well that I mentioned a couple weeks back, CeeDee Lamb, great game, and a couple weeks back I mentioned when CeeDee Lamb has a great game, it's
They're
a dub.
good.
Yeah, it's a Cowboys
They're
dub.
good.
If CeeDee Lamb has a great game, it's a Cowboys dub, and so I think they're winning almost every single game where he gets above 100 receiving yards. So if
Mhm.
Dak's finding CD, it is game over. Um, so what's another game before we can get to these two
Would
last
you
big
would
ones?
you where would you rank him as a receiver in the league? Top 5.
Who?
CD.
CD Lamb?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Am I counting the fact that Justin Jefferson's about to come back, or can I not put Justin
Well,
Jefferson in
if
that?
if you going off of that, if you going off of that,
Mhm.
like Justin Jefferson not being here from before,
Right.
CD Lamb is, in my opinion, he's like top 3.
Top three. So what?
Nah, I'm
Tyreek
capping. Top
Hill.
5. Top 5. Top 5. I'll go 5.
Yeah, you can put Tyreek Hill. You can put a Debo Samuel in there.
You
You
lucky.
can put a AJ Brown in there.
You lucky could put a DK Metcalf in there. Low key.
DK Metcalf. Yep, DK Metcalf having a great season. Yeah, I definitely have CD
It's
Lamb.
arguable.
He's I mean most definitely top 10. I'd put him in my top 5. Yeah,
Arguably top 5.
yeah. I would probably put
Definitely
him.
top 10 though.
I'd put. I'd have a hard time putting him above Debo.
Yeah,
But he
he's
also doesn't
arguable.
have the running back equivalent on his team, that Debo does to take that pressure off of him. Because when you do a RPO run pass option and you're faking a handoff to Christian McCaffrey, the guys are paying attention to that on the defensive end, and they're going to be heading his direction. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off of Debo, and I'm sure that if CeeDee Lamb had someone of that caliber at the running back position on his team, it would change things. But I can't take anything away from Debo. He's a stud. He's definitely right there in that top 3 for this season, in my
Yes,
opinion.
it is.
So that was Seattle. Yeah, great game. CeeDee Lamb really was a difference maker there. Uh, Miami keeps trotting through teams that they should be trotting through.
They scraped the Commanders 45-15.
Yeah,
Seen Tyreek Hill had that 78-yard touchdown. That was cool.
yeah.
He just
I
doing
mean,
what he do.
yeah, that was cool. I mean, I was thinking to myself as I was watching that game that I have a feeling that later on in my life, if I'm like showing younger people, like let's say like my kids or nieces and nephews, whatnot, if I'm showing them Tyreek Hill highlights, like after a little point, they're just gonna get bored because it's gonna be like, okay, well, this is a 50-yard run against the Commanders in 2017. Why would I
Mm,
watch this? Why would I watch this one when you just showed me the 78-yard run he had against the Commanders in 2023?
uh,
You know what I'm saying? Like some of these plays are just so crazy where he just blows by someone. How many times in a row can you watch someone blow by someone?
yeah,
You,
you
you
want
know
to
what I'm
see
saying?
something
Like especially
exciting?
when it's always going to be the best DB on him. Watching him repeatedly blow by them. At the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like you have to be there. You have to see it live. That's the biggest joy of Tyreek Hill's game is watching him every single week just play.
You saw they roller coaster touchdown, their little touchdown dance. They was
No.
acting like they was on a
Oh
roller coaster.
yeah. I've actually done that in high school. I remember for a volleyball game we got someone to go to the front, and during the halftime of a volleyball game or during a break or something like that, he did the roller coaster, and we had like a couple hundred people in the student section just going crazy.
Student sections used to get wild at the games.
I'm saying, yeah. Nah, student sections are definitely fun, especially once you get to the college level. The student section, for example, I was lucky enough to go sit in the student section of University of Kansas during a basketball game, and that was absolutely wild. Not a single person sitting down for the whole entire 2.5 hours.
I'm already knowing. That
Yeah,
sound crazy.
yeah, absolutely. So getting back to the NFL, yeah, just real quick little thing I want to talk about was the what is it, the Cincinnati Bengals
Mm-hmm.
and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, sir.
That was the
Last night, right?
yep, last night's game, the Monday night game. 34-31. That was the score in favor of Cincinnati. Yeah, it came down to at the end, it came down to overtime, making your field goals at the right time, and most importantly, Trevor Lawrence injury.
Yes, sir.
That was obviously a big one. Him going down middle of the fourth, late in the fourth. That just absolutely kills it for you. Especially, well, it was actually late in the fourth. It was like a couple minutes left in the fourth because they were trying to get a field goal, and I'm already knowing that having Trevor Lawrence there would have gotten you a field goal that's at least a little bit closer, if not gotten you a touchdown
Yeah,
on
that was
that
a
play.
must win.
So yeah, so instead of getting a 48-yard attempt or 50-yard attempt, whatever it might have been, you're getting a 40, 35-yarder. So yeah, tough break for Jacksonville, but also at the same time, Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, getting a win without Joe Burrow is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he's not going to be here for the rest of the
Especially,
season, so
yeah.
it's not like they're gonna try and like put them in a good position for when he comes back or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, as I said a few episodes ago, I just don't like tanking. Just because like you got guys that aren't there, you can't just be like, all right, let me try and get the number 3 pick in the draft, see if I can pair them with someone. Like, just win your games, play your games.
Literally.
So yeah, so I like to see that. Cincinnati tried and succeeded against it's a good Jacksonville team.
Yeah.
So, oh, last small thing before we talk about these games, Justin Jefferson returns against Las Vegas for the Minnesota Vikings. That's going to be a huge one because, as we just said, we're not counting him in that top 5 wide receiver. He hasn't really played this season. I can guarantee he's going to be a top wide receiver by the time Week 18 comes around, though.
For sure.
Not numbers wise, obviously. His numbers total for the season are going to be a little bit lower.
I'm not a Vikings fan, but I like Justin Jefferson, bro. I've been waiting for him to come back for a while now.
That's something you hear a lot, though. A lot of
Yeah.
people aren't necessarily Vikings fans, but really like Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
One of my friends is lucky enough that he got the double whammy because he's a huge LSU guy,
Mm-hmm.
like huge LSU guy. Even though he's from here in Minnesota, once every couple years he'll go down to LSU and go watch a game live. Like that, and that shit's crazy.
He was at the game we went to too.
Huh? Oh, nah, that's
Jettis.
yeah.
He was on the sideline.
Yeah, he was there on the in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We could see him. All the cameras pointed towards him when he was on the Jumbotron. That was funny. Yeah, so he's coming back for the Vikings, so that's gonna be. I mean, that's gonna be really good for that NFC North race, just because the Packers made it tight. As we are segueing into that right now, the Packers tightening the NFC North race by winning 27-19 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was a good game.
That was a great game. What's your initial thoughts on it? I have something to say after, but I want to hear what you thought of the game first.
Like I said earlier this year, the Chiefs don't look like themselves. Too many close games against I feel teams they should be smashing.
Yeah, the Packers. Yeah,
So,
Definitely one of those teams.
I've seen Kelsey drop a few balls this year. That's not normal. Mahomes. I mean, but they do. Besides this past weekend, they're usually good in crunch time.
Hmm.
You know, so but I just don't see them winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, there's one thing that I like though, even though there's controversial calls. I'm not going to say blown calls or missed calls. We're going to call those controversial calls. That happened at the end of that game, and I mean, I feel like especially when it's a nighttime game, one of those Sunday, Monday, Thursday night football games, you're the only game on TV. I feel like those controversial calls just get blown out of proportion by whether it be the media, the fans on Twitter, or whatever it may be. I feel
That's
like
true.
I mean, it's the only game you're watching, so I feel like there's more pushback on that game being more perfect when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to the officiating. But at the end of the day, I really like what Patrick Mahomes said. I don't know if you caught his post game interview.
What they say?
He said something along the lines of, when I call that play and I get in that huddle and we break the huddle, and get the ball snapped to me, I'm not looking for a flag. I'm looking to make the play that's going to win the game. Then if there just so happens to be something that causes a flag, then that's an advantage to us, yes.
That's
But he's
good.
not looking for the flag. He's just trying to go for the win. And so if there wasn't a flag called, then so be it, because that's not what he's looking for in the
That's
first place.
good. That's a good mentality to have. It's like playing basketball, like playing through a foul type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good for him to be thinking like that. Because some people, it's not bad to play with emotions, but it's if you can control them.
But
And
how
he's
many
pretty
times how
poised.
many times you done this? I'm just curious because I had some interesting coaches throughout my basketball career. Well, you ever had a coach be like, "All right, we gonna run 5-on-5 scrimmages, no fouls"?
No fouls.
Yeah.
My coach never said that, but he would literally sit there on the sideline with the whistle in his mouth and never blow it. He would be like, he would tell us like, y'all gotta call it, but I don't call fouls and stuff like that. But my teammates, it was a lot of arguing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, those definitely make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more chirpy, which is what
Yeah.
ended up happening. Just a little bit of I mean, arguing on Twitter. Hey, this call happened on this team. This call
Hmm.
happened on this team. Yada yada, and that equaled this team potentially not winning. So, I mean, we talked about this. I think the first time we brought this up was with baseball
Hmm.
when we were talking about the blown calls in, maybe it was the World Series or
Yeah, it was the World Series.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're not going to get perfect officiating anywhere you go until it's all robots, just like they've done in soccer with offsides,
but
and it's all robots.
at some point, these refs gotta be held accountable though, because you can't be missing calls like that in big games like that.
Yeah, but if you do, like, it's human error. Like, it literally happens,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, that's true.
It
That's
literally
true.
happens. And if it's within 2 minutes, then you have the review. So then it's not even on them; it's on the guys upstairs in the booth.
Yeah, true.
So but if it's outside of 2 minutes and a ref blows a call, like, if he didn't see something because he was looking at the arm that you had on the chest that was flat, but this arm was here and you grabbed the back of the chest plate. Well, that's a foul, but he was looking at this one, so he didn't even see the holding. But you're like, nah, he grabbed me here, grabbed me
Much
here.
dollar.
Shit happens, man.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so on the flip side, props to Green Bay, coming back in, being going strong with Jordan Love. People had things to say about the Packers when Aaron Rodgers decided to leave them. They're like,
Hmm.
hey, can this young man get it done for us? And so far, it's looking pretty good for a first season. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I think they on a 2-game win streak, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They on a win streak.
Well, and
You know,
I mean that's not even it. Really, it's who the way they're winning. Jordan. I mean, I was watching this game and there's a couple throws that Jordan Love made where I was like, well, that's just a pretty ball.
it's a nice throw.
Yeah, that's just a pretty ball. Like, period. So yeah. So props to the Green Bay Packers. Their defense is still the same as they had when they had Aaron Rodgers. So if he can play anything close to the level of of a surefire Hall of Famer, hey, I think there's good things in the works for Green Bay. I don't know about you.
It's gonna take a couple years, but yeah.
I mean, I think if things play well for them by next season, I think they can be back into where they were last year, where it's like, hey, we in that conversation for number one in the North every single year.
But they had Rodgers though, and then he win like two MVPs recently.
Yeah, Rodgers had 2019 and 20
20
MVP.
or
I'm pretty
21,
sure.
one of
Yeah,
them years.
yeah. He no, he had two. He
Two.
went back to back.
Yeah,
He went back to back recently.
they don't have him no more,
So
and
yeah,
I don't think. But
no,
then
it's definitely gonna be different.
but you did say like if Jordan Love can play at that high level, then yeah, it'll work.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about them. Just because Vikings been having their struggles. Uh, Detroit Lions are looking a little bit more human, even though they had a great win against New Orleans. I think if Derek Carr doesn't get hurt, it's a different game. But yeah,
Yeah, he
let,
won't.
let's get to the let's get to the real game that we want to talk about. 49ers head into Philadelphia
Yeah,
and beat the brakes off of Philly,
boy, what?
42-19. So what do you think this is? Is this more of a testament to the 49ers dominance, or do you think this was an underperformance in this specific game by Philadelphia? What do you think was the greatest factor here? I'm gonna let you talk on this game.
Philly started off pretty good, like in the beginning, but they took their first drive of the game. They took it down all the way to like the 15, but they couldn't score. Then they came on the second drive. They got the not the Chiefs, the 49ers, their first drive. They got them on a 3-and-out, got the ball back, went down to the red zone again, had to kick it again. So I was like, yeah, it's not gonna be too much scoring today for them. I know you talked about the Niners defense, how much it improved this year, and they showed it. They showed it a lot. Brock
Yeah,
Purdy.
this midseason um addition of Chase Young was in my mind just one of the best moves that the 49ers could have made,
Yes, sir.
because they noticed that percentage wise, when their team goes down a few points, Brock Purdy isn't as dominant as he is when they start off with the first touchdown. So it's like, well, let's make sure that our defense let like every single time we're going to be the first ones to score that touchdown thanks to our defense. So I think that, yeah, that was just a brilliant move by the 49ers to get Chase Young in that on that defensive line.
I don't think it was necessarily like a terrible performance for Philly. I think it was more so, like you said, a dominant performance for the Niners. They just got the best of them tonight, that night, and they wanted revenge for that championship game. Of course, they came into the game with something to prove, even though it's not like a huge game, but it was a big game. For
Right.
them, I'm sure they had it circled on their calendar. And then the Eagles are also, the Eagles probably not too worried about this loss because, for one, they didn't perform bad,
Mm-hmm.
and for two, they're still number one
Well,
team in
still,
the league.
it trips to the red zone where you don't get points, and in my
Yeah,
opinion, it is performing bad, especially
yeah,
when you
true.
are, reigning NFC champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep going.
Um. Yeah, I don't think they performed horrible. Um.
You think it's more
The
the
49ers had something to
49ers played
prove.
really, yeah.
They had something to prove.
Yeah,
They wanted it more.
I think it was Christian McCaffrey who said something on, to someone, asked him a question along the lines of like, "Are you guys seeing this as like a huge game?" And he downplayed it a little bit. He was like, "Nah, I mean, we don't really see it as a revenge game or anything like that. But if you're all pulling up in all black, bro, like
They had that
that's
game
different.
circled on the
Yeah,
calendar,
that's
bro.
different.
That game was circled on the
Yeah,
calendar.
no, that Yeah, I don't know. I just think like you can be honest about it. If I'm Christian McCaffrey, I'm like, yeah. I mean, 100%. They got us last year. They know they shouldn't have gotten us, and now we coming at their throats
Mhm.
essentially because that's what happened. I mean, shit, 42-19. You just gonna double their score like that? They didn't even like let off the gas when they got to the fourth quarter. They were just
And that touchdown didn't come until like the last 5 minutes
mm-hmm.
of the fourth, which I think Jalen Hurts threw to AJ Brown or some one of those receivers. But yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, the Eagles just didn't have it that night. But
Yeah.
they
So
got who they cut. They got I think they got I forgot who they have coming up this week. I know they have Seattle next week.
I don't know who the Eagles are playing this week either.
The Eagles got Seattle next week, and this week they going through that gauntlet right now. Oh, Cowboys. We
Oh
gotta
my
look forward
gosh.
to that. We got something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Eagles Cowboys. Okay, so what do you think? Yeah, this has big implications in the NFC picture. Obviously the 49ers way, way, way at the top, but whoever doesn't win this game is gonna be essentially fighting to get back into that second position or even third position with Detroit also being near the top.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, this is gonna add a few twists, a few wrinkles in the NFC picture. So I'm excited for that. Uh, you ready to switch to the NBA?
Yes, sir.
Because as I said in the intro, first ever in season tournament for the NBA. So therefore, first ever in season tournament quarterfinals. Two beautiful games. Um, Pacers win theirs, and the Pelicans win theirs. Um, yeah, Pelicans are looking good. Ever since CJ McCollum got back, what 3-4 days ago.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, they won two games, and one of them being the quarterfinals. So next thing you know, I'm pretty sure the semis and the finals get played in Vegas, right?
Yes, sir. I believe Thursday and then Saturday. The finals is Saturday.
There you go. So yeah, so these semis get played in Vegas, and the finals are an extra game, right? They don't count towards your regular season. So yeah, so I'm excited for that. So with the teams you got with there's obviously some games going on tomorrow, so I don't think we should make our predictions for the semis just yet. But or no, not tomorrow, tonight.
Yeah.
Who you got tonight between? I mean, there's two games, but the one that I'm really going to be focused on is going to be the Suns Lakers. I think the star factor in that game is just so much higher than in any of the other games we've had so far in the in season tournament. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think AD's gonna play bad tonight.
you think AD is going to play back? Well, you have about a 50% chance of being of being right.
I'm not
So
gonna lie to you. I think AD's not gonna play that well tonight. If
I
KD,
love that dude though. He
KD,
got to play
yeah,
well.
bro. That's the thing, bro. I love AD too, bro. And
Right, I know you're not hating when you say that. It's just you have a bad gut feeling about AD.
man,
So
I don't know. But hopefully, KD and Devin Booker are suiting up tonight. If they are suiting up, they're
still
gonna.
no Beal.
Yeah, they'll. Man, don't even bring his name up. Don't even bring him up no more.
Nah, but if
uh,
you think about it, it's kind of like I actually it's kind of like nobody. I don't know someone. Yeah, I was gonna say Kevin Durant never really had someone like that that's just not healthy as a co-star. Because if you think about it, like Clay and Steph overall, I'd say are healthier than Kevin Durant throughout their careers. Um, Russell Westbrook healthier than Kevin Durant. James Harden healthier than Kevin Durant.
uh,
Bro,
I
Kevin
don't know.
Durant has had like multiple
He
leg injuries.
KD broke his foot
Mm-hmm.
and he tore his Achilles. That's all.
What's Westbrook?
He broke his foot at OKC. Westbrook has broken everything, almost
Yeah, but he
everything,
plays
and
through it.
tore everything. Like he's missed, but it don't seem like he missed that much
Yeah,
time though.
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's an illusion or it's because Kevin Durant's a bigger name, so when he does get hurt, his name's in the media more.
He kind of had bigger injuries though.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they're longer injuries.
Yeah, because I think the only like bad season-ending injury Westbrook had was when Pat Bev ran into his leg. You know,
Yep.
I think he tore his ACL.
Yep, that was one of the crazier beefs of the 2010s. Westbrook and Pat Bev.
That's when the NBA really had beef. When players really had beef with each other.
Facts. Damn. So you don't even have to go that far back to find like old school mentality. You know that like nah, like we not friends. I'm here to work.
The NBA's too
You work for
friendly
the
now.
other company.
Yeah, the NBA got, I ain't gonna say soft, but they got a little too friendly.
Mm-hmm.
When I see you on the court, I don't care who you are. If you my mom, I'm dunking on you, bro.
Well, I feel like I mean that still happens because if you think about it, no matter how friendly LeBron James is with one of his title teammates, title winning teammates, Kevin Love. Remember when he dunked on him like 2 years later? He got to the Lakers and absolutely posterized Kevin Love, and he was like, "Man, why you gotta be under there? Like you know what's about to happen, K Love. Like you done see this enough. Why you gotta be the one under this rim right now?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's still gonna dunk on him, but I feel like back then it was like, I'm gonna dunk on you. I'm gonna push you to the ground, and I'm not even gonna care that I got a tech for it. And the coach not even gonna care that I got a tech for it. Coach gonna be like, way to get in his head, let's go.
Bro, I literally just watched a video this morning of Jalen Rose saying he injured Kobe purposely. Like Kobe went for a jump shot, he stuck his foot in there, and Kobe got hurt. He went out the game. He was like, "Oh," it was an interview from later on, like around this time. And Jalen Rose was like, "Oh, I didn't want to hurt him. I mean, I didn't want him to like get messed up real bad. I just wanted to hurt him just a little bit, so we could win the game." Like they was really going out there to hurt people, bro.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy.
Like the Pistons, the Bad Boys, like taking it way back. They was beating on Michael Jordan, bro.
Yeah, nah, that was no secret. And I mean, is that when you started? Was there because when was the technical or not technical? When was the not personal foul, but I'm talking excessive foul. When were those invented? Like excessive level 1 and excessive level 2.
Like flagrants?
Yeah, flagrant.
Shoot, we gonna have to search that one up.
Yeah, because I mean the way I'm looking at it, if there was flagrant fouls level 1 and flagrant fouls level 2, half of the Bad Boys Pistons would have gone broke by 1992 because of all these fines they would have been getting from these flagrants.
It started in 90.
In 1990?
Yeah.
Bro, that's right after the Bad Boy Pistons if you think about it. Because Jordan won in 91.
Yeah, they probably made it because of them.
Yeah, because think about it. Now you're facing the Pistons, and they're thinking in their mind, damn, do I want to keep $150,000 or do I really want to put this elbow in Michael Jordan's head? And and that's a hard choice, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you hate Michael, but you're parting with a lot of money if you're getting these, and plus you're not participating in present or future competitions the more flagrants you get. Because we saw that with Draymond Green, getting kicked out against LeBron James for this happening, that happening, this happening, that happening, and then boom,
it was
and then
technical.
And then he kicked him, and then he kicked him in the nuts after kicking Steven Adams in the nuts twice that season.
I think it happened 2 years in a row. I think the first time he got a 16th technical, and then the second time he kicked that man in his family jewels.
Yeah. Yeah, the 16th tech was the one in the finals, though, so that's the one that people remember. And people are salty about if you're a Warriors fan, obviously. Or if you believe that the Warriors should have won that series, which,
Warriors, Lakers, and Celtics have the worst fan base in the world, bro.
Really?
I hate their fan bases.
So, wait, hold up.
The Warriors,
How you about
Celtics,
so it's 3 out of the 5 winningest franchises of all time?
Their fans.
Do you think winning gets to your head as a fan?
Yeah, of course. And they don't even be a part of it.
Right, especially these Boston. Like, I mean, no shade to my homie, but I got a friend who's our age, so he's 24, 25 years old, and he's a Boston fan.
Me too.
Bro, you weren't even an afterthought when Bill Russell retired, when You know, when all these greats retired, when Kevin McHale retired,
Boston fans,
Robert Parrish.
Boston fans would put Larry Bird in their top 5, like all time. That's how delusional they are.
Well, hold on. Now I have to pause and ponder.
He's nowhere near top 5. Don't even start. He wasn't even a top 5 shooter, and that's what he was known for.
You're right. I don't have him in my top 5 all time.
Larry Bird wasn't even a top 5 shooter. He was just a really, really good scorer, a really gifted scorer, and he was white, so people looked at him different because he was white doing what he was doing. And there wasn't a lot of white guys doing that back then. They was calling them
Facts.
plumbers.
They were
They was calling them plumbers, bro. Then you got this white dude who come out here and he tell
who,
you
who
to your
looks
face.
who looks like a plumber.
Who look like a plumber.
He looks like he
look
works for Mack Truck.
He don't look like he played basketball. And he coming in the gym and he telling you to your face before the game, hey, why are you here? I'm about to put 50 on you. And he do it. Larry Bird was different. But he gets a lot of credit for some stuff that he wasn't really that great at.
Yeah, but on the defensive end, I mean, as you so eloquently put it, he a cone. Is that what you say?
Cone, boy.
Yeah. So he was a cone on defense.
Cone.
So yeah, but I mean, on the other end, if you didn't have your best defender on him, you're getting scorched. So
Yeah, but I feel like you low key get a pass for that being a superstar. You don't,
yeah,
especially like, cause look at Jokic. Nobody talks about his defense that much, and he's cause he impacts the game in such a huge
Right.
way without playing deep. Like, and I'm not gonna say he's literally like just garbage at defense because he's 7 foot tall, so he's of some use on defense.
no, I mean, no matter what it is, if you are elite at one side of the ball, no one cares
No
about the other
teammate.
side. Cause I mean, my favorite example would be a Dikembe Mutombo, Rudy Gobert, a
Mhm.
guy where if you gave them the biggest contract in the world and the biggest incentive, they couldn't average 25 points a game.
Yeah.
You know, but like if they just go out there and play the way they play, yeah, they can be in the defensive player of the year conversation. They can be in the blocks leaders conversation every single season.
Every time.
But yeah, but it's not a person that you can be like, go give me 25, 30 a night, please and thank you. Like that's just not gonna work.
Never.
But yeah, because what they do on the other side is so good, no one's gonna look at them and be like, I come off the bench or I be my 6 man. Like, nah, you want this guy starting because they're so good. So it's one of those things. You become a superstar because you are good at one or both sides of the ball. And that's why it's such
But you
a
just
beauty when you're a Michael Jordan and you can get nine NBA all defenses and 9 all first team NBAs.
you gotta be elite at one of them though. If you're not good at both or decent at both, because like I said, Jokic is so impactful on offense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you move over to Milwaukee, Dame is a cone on defense, right? Too. He's
Right.
a cone too, right?
Right.
And they don't look the same. So it just all depends on how
Well,
impactful you are
yeah,
to the game.
but here's the thing. This is a really good analogy, actually. Damn, I'm kind of proud of myself. But what's easier to do, getting around a 6'3" cone or getting around a 7'1" cone?
That's very true.
See, so it does help having, he's a center. He got a big wingspan. He's a big body. He's
That's another reason why Luka don't really get thrashed for his defense because he's a big body. Like he's 6'7", 6'8"?
yeah,
And he's a point guard. So even though he's bad at defense, he's still big.
right. If you haven't gone by him, you're not gonna outmuscle him.
Nah.
Like no, no Steph Curry, Marcus Smart,
You're gonna have
Chris
that
Paul.
speed.
These guys
speed.
aren't gonna if they don't get by him, it's not their strength that's gonna help them score against Luka Doncic. So yeah, Pelicans. Oh, Clippers. Clippers with James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Ups and downs, kind of roller coastery. But when Harden gets 20 points, and now you got all of a sudden you got 3 points a night scorers in Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden. That's dubs. They beat the Warriors. Who are having their struggles as well. But Harden had over 20 points. That's all you needed. to get
Yeah.
over that hump.
They just gotta work on closing games better. Like they have a really bad habit of either like playing a very close game to the end, or they let it get out of hand early, and then they gotta fight their way back in. Like I know it's gonna take some time to get in rhythm and all that, but y'all
Right.
got three superstars, and y'all got two players who are elite
They're-
elite two-way players.
But if you're looking in the grand scheme of thing, you got 4 stars.
One of them is coming off the bench, and he only plays like 15 minutes a game, and he doesn't. And he
Right.
probably most of those minutes are in the end of the game, and probably towards the end of the
Yeah,
second quarter.
he's a closer. He's not a starter for sure.
Yeah,
But did you see? I can't remember who it was. It was one of the sports talkers on ESPN, I believe, who said that he's Russell Westbrook looking like a genius right now because if he on the bench and they don't do well, it's like, well, I'm not starting. It's not my fault. But if they doing well, it's all because Russell Westbrook said, "Hey, you know what? James Harden's here. I'll take the bench spot."
I don't feel like that's true though, because literally everywhere this man go, he's always gonna be to blame. But then again, he also has James Harden on his team now, so
Yeah, I don't think he's to blame. If the Clippers lose the next 10 games, no one's going to be looking at that roster and being like, "Okay, Russell Westbrook has to leave." They're all going to be looking at James Harden.
yeah. You think they should trade one of them?
No, because as you said, I think that with time they are going to do well. I was just saying if they were to not do well, no one would blame Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. He don't deserve the blame. I don't think anywhere he ever went, I don't think he ever deserved the blame.
I don't think anyone averaging a triple-double is to blame for anything.
Nah, man.
And after that, I mean, the Rockets. There was just a weird period for Russell Westbrook where he just couldn't find a team where they needed someone that ball dominant.
Where he went? He went from OKC to the Rockets,
to
then
Houston.
to the Washington, then
Yep.
to LA.
Yep.
Now LA again.
Yep, and Washington had a Kyle Kuzma, ball dominant. Houston had
Beal.
James Harden, who if you're starting with Westbrook and they're both ball dominant, that's I could see how that wouldn't work.
That
Then
worked out
you get to
better.
the Lakers where you're not going to be the main guy with the ball. And so this is why I think he's flourished here with the Clippers is because he's not that starter guy who's going to have the ball at the beginning of the game for a lot of time. He's going to be that guy who if you need him at the end to touch the ball, he's going to grab it. But
I don't think he was like his Rocket situation. I think that worked well, more like better than people thought it would work. Because I think at some point they was both almost averaging a triple double. And then when he was on Washington, I feel like if Beal would have just stayed healthy, they wouldn't have went crazy. But I think they could have made some shake because he wasn't
right, because
trash
that
there
is the
either.
Eastern Conference,
Yeah.
and LeBron James had already moved to the West, so at that point it was a younger Bucks squad and a younger Celtics squad that you're kind of fighting in that East. Oh, and obviously the Miami Heat.
Brooklyn too, right?
Yeah,
was
I guess.
this?
Yeah, nah. At this point in time, yeah, you would have had to get through Brooklyn. You're either going through Brooklyn or Milwaukee or Boston.
It's
Damn,
been that
East
way.
be stacked.
Yeah.
East be stacked. I don't know where that narrative. I guess is before the stackedness of the East. When the LeBronto era, we called it back in the day as fans. But yeah, that was kind of crazy stuff. Any other teams you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Jaquez Jr. You know him?
Yeah, on the
On the
Miami
Heat?
Heat,
He been
rookie
balling.
on the Heat.
He been balling, bro. He's for me, he's like top 3 rookie of the year right now.
Do you mind looking up what pick he was in the draft?
He was a top pick.
So
Not top pick.
was he a first rounder?
He was number 18.
Number 18. Got you. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
he was.
now I'm sick if I'm these other teams looking at it, looking at this, and it's like because he's not the he's definitely not that Wembenyama. Um, you see the name and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go see a Heat game to see this guy play, and but he's just filling out the role that he's been assigned on that Miami Heat squad so well. When they need him to just sit there and catch and shoot threes, he does it. When they need him to play defense, he does it, and he's one of those hustle guys too.
Yeah, he
He's
was.
always moving up and down the court. When there's a steal, he's always the first one running transition. When there's a missed shot, he's always the first one back on defense. He's one of those players you want on your squad for sure. And to have that mentality as a rookie, props to him.
Yeah, and I thought the Heat getting rid of Struess and Gabe Vincent over the summer, I thought that was going to take a big toll on them, but Jaquez has stepped up big time in that filled in that role, and then Duncan Robinson been playing good with Hero out. So Miami trying to get it back together. But like I said earlier this year, I don't really worry about Miami during the regular season because when the playoffs come,
Right? They're a different
Jimmy
different
gonna
beast.
Jimmy gonna do what it do.
What was I? Yeah, I think Max Struess is definitely a little bit more of a loss than Gabe Vincent, because I don't know if you've seen what Gabe Vincent been doing on the Lakers,
Max
but
Strus been hooping. Forget
I
about Gabe Vincent.
yeah, Max Struess been hooping for Cleveland, but Gabe Vincent, I don't. Have you seen what he's been doing with the Lakers? Yeah, I haven't seen anything either because I don't think he's really stepping on the court that much for them. I think I don't think he's in that rotation right now. But Max Struess, yeah, I mean that whole Cleveland squad, we brought it up. They're young, they're energetic. Max Struess, one of those young guys that, I mean, he can shoot. He's he doesn't look like the most athletic guy, but he has some of those dunks that he's been getting on those fast breaks
Sneaky bounce.
where he looks angry when he slams it down. He reminds me of like a Harrison Barnes when he
Yeah.
dunks. It's like nothing really flashy, but like he looks like he wants to just take down the rim. Which is fine by me.
Yeah,
I've always hated those technical fouls.
Yeah, that's bruh. LeBron. I think LeBron got thrown out of the game for dunking this season. LeBron has been. I think LeBron got ejected or he has like 3 texts for like some really really stupid stuff this season. The refs are horrible, bro. He got a tech. He got a tech for arguing with Udoka the other day. He got a tech for dunking recently.
Should
and a
we
tech
talk
for
about
softballs.
should we talk about that situation
We can.
with Ime?
That was funny. Bro, people for days before the audio came out, for days, bro, I'm a good lip reader, bro. For days, people was trying to find out. Bro, the moment I saw Udoka's lips, I was like, bro, he just called him a soft ass boy. I was like, yo, what? And then the audio came out, and there was way more he said. He called him a soft ass boy, but he said a lot more than that.
Yeah,
I was like,
he's
man.
soft ass. It did start with a B, that's for sure.
He was
But
wildin'.
nah, I mean, I would have. So here's the thing. I was trying to think back to. I was never by any means, the LeBron James of my team. I was, yeah. Anywho, but I do remember this one time where I caught fire and I was for some reason this team just didn't understand how to defend a reverse layup. I'm like 12 at this time, 13 years old, and I was just the best at coming down on my right side and faking like I'm going with this right hand layup and then curling it over with my left. And at one point I try to do that and the dude can't block it. He gets frustrated and he just kind of like slams down on me, slams me to the ground. And I hear this dude in the crowd say, "Hey, yo, spaghetti noodles be faking it."
What?
And I remember just like literally thinking to myself, "Damn, this is a small team from the Alps. This is back when I was in France. This was a team from the mountains that traveled an hour and 5 minutes. This dude is one of the fans. So he traveled an hour and 5 minutes for a fellow 13-year-old's game, and is now roasting me on the court. Like I don't know. I felt like if I'm in his head, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm never gonna see this person. I'm never gonna talk to this person again. And I'm the only thing he can think of right now. I think LeBron should have just been like, oh, damn, he really thinks that much of us that he's using this kind of vocab, because that shows you're heated."
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was mad. He said it. He said it in the post game interview. He said he felt like we got bullied by a team who doesn't do much bullying,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the Lakers are not a terrible team, but that's a fact. They're not known for beating teams by a wide margin. Did they not just get beat by 40 a few nights ago? They just lost
Yeah,
by 40.
the worst loss of King
LeBron's,
James's career.
yeah,
Yep.
so they're not known for bullying. Like he called them a soft ass boy because their team is full of soft ass boys.
Yeah, and what and word for word, he didn't even call him soft. He said stop acting soft.
Stop
I believe
acting like a bee.
Exactly, and so there's a big difference with that where
Stop crying. I mean, I say that on the court. Stop crying. Stop crying about that foul.
yeah, but
when people get too out of hand,
but that's a different vocab, and LeBron just I guess was a little bit butthurt with the specific vocabulary. He was like, "Hey, don't throw that word around." I mean, I don't know.
this not the first
Maybe
time.
it's the way each of us react to different words, but I just know that for me personally, that word, unless if it's told to me by someone that I care about,
Yeah.
like if you were to call me that word, I would feel resentful. I wouldn't like that too much. But if some random person on the street or someone like at work or whatever calls me that, they don't hold enough power on me for me to give them the time of day. So like why, that's what I don't understand. Why did LeBron give him the time of day? This is a guy who's coached what 3 full years in the NBA. Bro, you have more MVPs, you have more championships than this man has years coaching the NBA. Why are you giving him the time of day? Like that's not your homie. You don't have to fix your problems on the court. I don't know. That's what I think of it. How would you have reacted if you were in that position?
As LeBron or the coach?
Nah, we gonna put ourselves in LeBron's shoes because I mean, yeah. If you're LeBron, how are you reacting? Because
I'll probably just laugh.
He's the one who reacted, right?
I would literally probably just laugh. And plus, we spanking y'all right now. What are you talking about?
We're mid spank.
Look at the scoreboard,
well,
bro.
Isn't that why? I mean, if someone's complaining about a bunch of calls and they're winning, it's like, yo, what are you complaining about? You didn't want 2 points on the layup. You wanted 3 points with the and one. Like you up 15. You know what I'm saying? Like what you don't need to complain,
it's
but
part
you
of the
are.
Game, bro. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, at the end of the day, the ref was right with just being like, okay,
tech.
each a technical. But yeah, if Ime hadn't gotten that first tech, I don't think this whole situation would have been blown up as much because it's the fact that Ime got ejected by that technical.
I'm gonna keep it a butt with you. What I would have did was I would have laughed at him, and then I would have started going crazy in the game. And every time I score a bucket, I'm gonna point at the coach and be like, "This is your fault.
This is your fault." Yeah.
This is your fault every time."
Didn't someone do that was it a fan or a coach or something? Maybe someone off the bench that talked smack.
It was in the NBA, I believe, too.
Oh, no. It was Dwayne Wade and Charlotte Hornets fan. Remember, dude had his tie around his head and was wearing like a backpack during a Charlotte Hornets game.
Winner?
I don't know if he had a game.
I think
he might have.
I think he hit a buzzer beater. He was like, "This is your fault."
Yeah,
he was like, "That's on you."
Yeah, and I don't know. No, and you see a fan flipping him off.
Halliburton just did it like 2 weeks ago.
For real? Against who?
I don't remember who it was, but he shot a crazy deep three, and he ran other side. He said to the fan, he was like, "That was on you. That was your fault."
Can you imagine affecting the game that much? You just got yourself your ticket. You're ready to watch the game, and you talk so much smack that you lose.
It's all your fault, bro.
Man, I mean, I've never really talked smack as a fan when I go to pro games or when I go to college games because I'm just so focused on wanting my team to do well that I'm either encouraging my own team or I'm talking smack to the refs, if anything.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I did I did twice because I was watching my team play and I was also at the opposing team's arena. So I was really trying to be arrogant. I saw Brooklyn play the Hawks in Atlanta when they still had KD and Kyrie.
Okay.
I was in there chirping, boy.
Yeah,
And
and I'm assuming that was, so you said Brooke. Yeah, it was that was
last year,
was the years. Oh, okay, last year.
it
So
was
it's
literally
not the year where everyone was hating on Trey Young because he was like just.
nah, nah. It was literally actually like I went and saw that game, and then I moved here the next
Oh
day.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay. Damn.
yeah. And
Well,
then and then
so you're like
and
I can stir up all the trouble I want. They not gonna find me.
yeah. Then a few weeks later, I came here, and then
Uh,
KD and them got traded, and then Brooklyn came here to play the Timberwolves, and I went to that game, and I was in there chirping like crazy, and then Nas Reed hit a three at the buzzer to send it to OT, and I was talking crap to the dudes in front of me. Nas Reed hit a buzzer beater. Bro turned around, lift up his jersey, and on his shirt it said Nas Reed. He was talking so much, bro. I was talking, bro. I was like, all right, it's cool. Y'all gonna be in the plan anyway. Nah. Because obviously Timberwolves wasn't that good last year. This was
mhm.
last season, so. But we ended up winning the game. But it was a good game.
Really, Brooklyn won
Yeah,
that game.
Brooklyn won that game.
Got you. So, I want to talk about two things. One positive, one negative. On the negative side, the San Antonio Spurs 3-16. I was just mentioning we're just talking about the Rookie of the Year race. Do you think that if because if you think about last year, Banchero, the Magic weren't too hot, but like they weren't the worst team in the league. They weren't like ranked number 30, which I believe
Yeah.
right now actually they're ranked number 29.
I don't think you can compare that to this year because Ben Carroll was so far ahead of all the other rookies last season
Mm-hmm.
that it was just like from the beginning, people was like, he's
Right.
rookie of the year.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's rookie of the year.
So yeah, but do you think that such a low record eliminates Wemby from the race, or do you think that if he gets his numbers up as the season comes to an end, that it will, that they'll put him back in that Rookie of the Year race? Because I don't know, man. 3-16. What's that on pace for?
I don't know, cause if you want to base it off
You're on
that,
pace for like 25, 30 wins, bro.
I wanna go back to like what you said about Chet, about him being like, I love Chet, but what you said about him not being a first option,
Mm-hmm.
and Wemby kind of is. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
they
yeah.
got pretty much the same numbers. So I don't think you can really talk about the wins. It's more about it's rookie of the year. It's not MVP. He's not being valuable to his team. He's just being the best rookie.
Right.
But if he was talking about
That's
MVP,
true.
if he was talking about MVP, then you can be. Then you can. I could say you can throw him in there because he's
Damn.
valuable to his team. Without him, they probably don't even get 3 wins. You know what I'm saying?
You think you think they'd be 19-0 without
They
Wemby?
probably 0-19 without Wemby,
Oh,
bro. In front of their
yeah,
own crowd.
0-19. My bad.
They're getting Pop all riled up to the point where he gotta go to the scores table and grab the mic and
You
tell them
gotta
stop
talk to the
booing.
fans.
Like, bro, I don't know, dog. There's something going on in San Antonio.
Right?
I gotta ask Charles Barkley. He gonna tell you something about some churros
He
or
go,
something.
he gonna say something
The
about how
big
it's the
women.
women. It's the women down in San Antonio. They not motivating Wemby enough.
I think they interviewed him one game and he asked him about that. He asked him about churros and Wemby was like, I don't even know what a churro is.
Hey, maybe he should eat a few churros. Get that, because if Wemby puts on the muscle tone of, I don't know, like a Steven Adams,
That'll
the
be
NBA
crazy.
is
They're
just
doomed.
fucked, bro.
They're
Like they're
doomed.
literally, it's over. It's over. Anywho, that was the negative. On the positive side, we still have two undefeated teams at home, and I think that's very important. I think defending home court advantage is very important because if you're able to do it in the regular season, you're able to do it in the postseason. And if you are a good team in the East, or in the in any conference, and you have home court advantage, that's huge.
Don't tell me yet. I think I know. Is it Minnesota and Denver?
No, Minnesota lost a game at home. It was against. It was during the in-season tournament, I believe, actually. But it
Is
is Denver,
Denver?
and
Oh, man.
Denver is the team in the West, and the other team's in the East. That's my hint.
Bucks. It can't be Brooklyn.
No.
Boston.
Yep. There
It
you
got.
go.
It was that was it. I
Yep.
should have said that first.
Boston and Denver, I believe, are both either 9-0 or 10-0. I'd have to double check, but both Boston and Denver
Yeah,
are
well,
undefeated at home.
I was just talking about Boston's annoying ass fans. Their crowd plays a big role in their wins, bro.
In their home wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they be electric in there, man.
Yeah.
TD Garden, they be going crazy.
I mean, you seen the way Kyrie has reacted to some of these Boston fans after leaving them. If you're able to get into his head,
Oh yeah.
I mean, sheesh, you gotta be talking some mad trash. But yeah, some of these fans just be out of hand. I'm telling you. But props to Boston, props to Denver, and but if it does come down to it, here's the thing about let's say these two teams were to meet in the finals, right? Because as I said, home court advantage matters. Even if Boston has home court advantage, as Jokic would say, he played in Serbia, brother. It's that's not gonna bother him, bro. It's not gonna bother him. He's already seen worse crowds than that. And yeah, literally when I saw those videos of the Serbia matches, it looks like soccer fans packed into a basketball arena. Like it's literally crazy.
But soccer got the best fans.
If you ever seen a European soccer, videos of European soccer fans, that's exactly what Serbian basketball fans look like and act like. It's
I'm talking
ridiculous.
About flamethrowers in the stands, all types of crazy stuff. They're going crazy over there.
Yep. When the fans are jumping so much that your hoop is slightly shaking, yeah, you know it's a different kind of atmosphere. No wonder he can make anything, bro. If he can make it on a shaky rim, he can make it on a steady rim.
Man, he's different.
So yeah, just want to say props to those two teams just for what they've been doing so far this year. Boston, their additions are really, really, key pieces of them maintaining that number one spot if they're going to do it for the rest of the season. And correct me if I'm wrong, Denver still doesn't have a Jamal Murray.
Came back, left again. Came back, left again.
So they don't have a consistent Jamal Murray.
Feel like it's gonna be an all-season thing with him. Hopefully he can get back in rhythm.
Damn. So, but here's the thing: do you want to make a trade before the trade deadline if you're not sure that your second piece? Because do we agree when we say that those two are the reason why they won the championship last year?
Yes, I'm not trading him.
No, you're not trading him. I'm saying you're trying to make you're trying to get a piece not for him but
who do you trade?
To help him. Because let's say if he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. What do the playoffs come when he's out? I want a second star. I want a second star with Jokic, period, on the court. And I mean, can MPJ step into that role fully and become that number 2 guy?
MPJ has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's taken up those numbers, those shots that Jamal was taking.
Reggie Jackson too. Reggie Jackson has stepped up big time. But it's like, who do you trade? Because I feel like they're not gonna trade. They're not gonna, because you're saying what, a superstar to back up Murray if Murray's not there for the playoffs. You're not gonna
a superstar to back up Jokic if Murray's not there.
Yeah, you're not gonna get no superstars for. They're not gonna trade MPJ. They're not getting superstars for what, Reggie Jackson and Aaron Gordon. You're not gonna get no superstars for. And even if that, you're giving up depth.
Nah, but like not a superstar, like a star, like I don't even know, like what caliber player do they need? They need like someone who's like a Tyrese Halliburton, Donovan Mitchell, that caliber where it's like, all right, this person isn't first team All NBA every single year, but this person can go get you 25, 30.
It's a lot of guys.
In Mitchell's case, a little bit more than 25, 30.
I don't know. Mitchell, yeah, you can't even put Mitchell over there. It's like they don't have, like I said, it goes back to what they can offer.
Mm-hmm.
If you can offer a sweet deal, like
I
you
was
give,
gonna say like a Bradley Beal level player. If Beal wasn't as hurt as
yeah,
as Jamal is, as Murray is, I would say someone like Beal.
whatever they do trade, they're gonna give up depth from their team, and
Mm-hmm.
that depth they already lost a little bit, giving up Bruce Brown to the Pacers this summer. So I don't know. I feel like they should just stick with Murray. I think Murray should sit out for a little bit because they not playing bad without him. Let him
Right,
sit.
since they don't need him,
Let him sit.
since they don't need him really to be one of those top teams in the West by the time the season ends. I say you treat him the same way the Vikings were treating Justin Jefferson. Just literally just let him take his time. When he's 100%, bring him back
Mm-hmm.
because you really only need him for the playoffs and you really only need him for a couple series in the playoffs. I feel like they could get through the first round of the playoffs without him depending on the team they face.
Yeah, I mean, if they're a top seed playing a low seed or a playing team, they're scraping them.
Right?
Like it's happening.
Right? Well, we'd have to see who those 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds are going to be, but
It's
yeah,
gonna be close.
mhm.
The
I'm
East is
looking
pretty
forward to
close.
that for sure. For sure. Uh yeah, anything else NBA wise you want to cover or is that it for today?
Did we already talk about the playing games from last night?
Yeah, the Pacers. Yeah, I said the Pacers won theirs and the Pelicans won theirs and C.J. McCollum. I mean, I
Right.
guess we didn't talk about the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton, but I feel like that's because we talked about him so much last week.
Let's
He
talk about Boston. Boston
yeah.
folded.
Well, Boston, as I said, undefeated at home. So,
I think they really missed Porzingis last night.
hmm
Definitely. Um,
well, I knew that was gonna happen already. I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago where I asked myself what their plan was for center wise as Al Horford grows old because you never want to take him. You never want to get rid of Al Horford,
yeah,
but you also don't want him starting your games at what 37 years old,
he was
38.
getting cooked off of switches last night.
Yeah, he just doesn't have that youth and athleticism that he
Yeah,
had back in his Atlanta Hawks days.
yeah.
So
But he still occasionally can get out there like on the perimeter and guard a smaller player. Like he's not terrible. Like he's
hmm
still good for his age. He
right.
just like you said, not as athletic and mobile as he used to be.
Well, and Porzingis is one of the most mobile seven
Yeah.
plus footers that we have in the game. So I think that definitely helps him too.
Yeah, they had Robert Williams. I liked Robert Williams. He was really, really good, but getting rid of him was very smart because he's done for the season already.
Yeah,
Over
yeah,
in
he's
Portland. Over in
he's
Portland.
the most injury prone. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
second
one of
time.
those guys, bro, where like you just hate to see it.
He
I
got
mean,
so much
he's
potential.
obviously not in the stratosphere of these guys, but Tracy McGrady, Derrick Rose, guys were like the injuries literally are what made it so that
Was
they're not
harder.
in the Hall of Fame. Which I think Tracy McGrady ended up. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
And if he isn't, that's the only reason why is because then wasn't able to do it for enough seasons due to the simple fact that homie got injured. Or Brandon Roy. There you go. If you remember that
Injuries.
name,
Greg Oden,
Greg Oden. But do you remember Brandon Roy?
John Wall.
John Wall.
Yeah, of course. Portland.
Yes. Portland Trailblazers point guard.
Yes, sir. He played with Aldridge. They could have did some damage, bro.
I think they
They was
won every single game where Aldridge, Oden, and Roy were on the court at the same time.
I
It
think
was only 11 or 12 of them, but I'm pretty sure they won every single one of those games.
were they calling him the next LeBron at one point? Wasn't they calling Brandon Roy like the next LeBron?
No, he's quite a bit shorter. He's a point guard. He was a point guard, so he's only like 6'2",
Or LeBron before
6'3".
LeBron type shit. Yeah, he was Brandon Roy, man.
So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Balls Out Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, peace. We'll see you next time.